Hi guys, today we are going to be talking about how to maintain a relationship with God while you're in high school. So let's get on into the video. Okay, so I'm editing this video right now, and before we actually get into it, I completely forgot to mention that I'm doing like do's and don'ts of growing your faith in high school. Yeah, so I'm gonna start with don'ts and then I will work my way to the do's. So my first don't that I have for you guys is don't follow the crowd. It's gonna be very tempting. And what I mean by that is everyone's going to be partying and cussing and doing all these things, and it's gonna be what's cool, what's popular, what's normal. And I fell into it when I was in high school, and it's gonna be really hard, but that is one of the best ways, if not the best way, to continue your faith throughout high school. Okie dokie. So we switched angles, as you can tell. My second don't is don't go to a party. Even if you want that high school experience, trust me on this one. My first high school party was my junior year, and one of my friends was throwing a Halloween party, and I was like, oh, let's go, it'll be great. And out of that party, I ended up losing my best friend and my parents' trust, because I told them I wasn't going and I did anyways. And also told them there wasn't drinking, and there was. And it's just not smart. And also a lot of people from my church judged me for it, and obviously like, you shouldn't really care about what others think, but it made me feel guilty, it made me feel really bad. My third don't is don't do anything that will hurt your witness. And my camera tilted. And what I mean by that is like, don't disobey authority, don't be caught drinking or doing drugs with your friends. And really, this one's gonna be really hard, but try not to cuss. And I know when I was in high school, I cussed a lot, and I regret it a lot. It's not worth it. It's not worth having people have a different view of you in school versus in church. My fourth don't in high school, and this one's probably gonna be pretty hard if you are really passionate about the word, is don't completely shut down teachers if they're teaching against the Bible. And what I mean is evolution, let's say, evolution in science classes. If your teacher starts talking about evolution and science, don't completely not listen. I know you're like, well, why? That's not what we believe. And I agree with you. But at the same time, it's interesting to learn other viewpoints. That way, if anyone that came up to you that believed in evolution, didn't believe in creationism, and they came up to you, you would be able to have that kind of information to back yourself up and you talk. When my science teacher taught evolution, I shut down. I didn't listen, and I really wish that I would have, but I have heard it many, many, many times over the years, and it's to the point now where I understand, but I don't at the same time, which is where we're supposed to be as Christians, in my opinion. So understand their differences and know that that's not what we believe, and it's not what the Bible teaches. My fifth don't is don't stick with your friends that are gonna hurt your witness or hurt you, even if they're your friends. I cannot tell you how many friendships I had in high school that were toxic. And I mean toxic. I had friends that drank all the time, juuled in class, or vaped in class, whatever. And it got me wanting to do it and wanting to do all these things instead of wanting to invest my time in Jesus. And it was awful for my witness. And it made all these people in school think, oh, she's cool, but I thought she was a Christian, and I don't want people to think that about me, and you shouldn't either. My sixth don't is don't let other people's opinions of you change how you view yourself. That one, it was really hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. I messed up a lot in high school, like a lot, and there were always rumors about me, and I didn't really appreciate it. But at the same time, I took it to heart, and I would listen to these rumors and think, man, I really am this, I really am a hoe, I really am that, and it really got me really far from God. Instead of thinking, well, why would they say that about me? Like, that's not even true, and brushing it off, I let it get to me. So even if people are saying that you are the furthest thing from a Christian, don't let that get to you, because guess what? Your relationship with God is no one else's business. That's you and God's business. Okay, so my 7th don't is gonna be kind of difficult, but it's don't join clubs and extracurricular activities if it's going to be your entire identity and your entire witness to people. I am guilty of this. I am guilty of being that girl that was in show choir. I am guilty of being a girl that danced, and if I ever had practices on Sundays or Wednesdays, I would skip church. And it really took a toll on my faith. And I'm also guilty of having a lot of friends in these programs who were not Christians, and that also really took a toll on my faith. It wasn't until college that I really got serious about my faith, because, I mean, I didn't think about it. I was thinking about dance and show choir, singing, dancing, acting. I was thinking about all that kind of stuff. I wasn't thinking about my relationship with God, and that should have been my #1 priority. So the first do is go to FCA, which is Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or any other Christian program or group that your school has to offer. I didn't really do this. I did this in middle school, and anytime that they had like a organization, there was one called See You at the Pole. They did it yearly, and I would go out and I would worship with everyone, I would sing. And I really regret not going to FCA in school. I spent so much time in our show choir room instead of actually going to FCA, and that's what I regret the most. All right, my second do is wear Christian apparel or have like Christian stickers on your laptop or something, and hope that people ask you about it. I had a lot of people ask me about shirts that I've had on, and they'll be like, oh, where's that? And I'll be like, oh, this church camp that I went to. And that's a good way to witness to people, because once they hear that, they could get interested in, oh, that's cool, and maybe even ask to go to church with you. I know it's silly to think like, oh, they're gonna wanna come to church because I'm wearing a Jesus shirt. But seriously, the third do is do join clubs and extracurriculars. And I know you're thinking, but you just said, yeah, okay. So I want you to join them, and while you're in them, share the gospel in some way. You don't have to directly go up to people and be like, love Jesus, you're going to hell, like all that stuff. You don't have to do that. Personally, what I did was anytime my church had like a big event, I would invite people. I'd be like, hey, do you want to come? Like, yada, yada, yada. And that would get more people coming and more people interested. And that was a way for me to witness to people. And there was also a couple organizations in my town that did stuff like that as well. And that got a lot of people from show choir involved. And I really like that. My fourth do is do anything that is public with your faith. And like I said earlier, we had See You at the Pole for FCA. And this was a really good way for people to know that you were a Christian, because when they were walking into school, we had a big old circle around the American flag pole. And everyone was watching us, everyone was listening to us sing, and it was drawing in more people, and they were interested in like what we were doing, what we were singing about, what we were praying about. And it was just a really good way to draw in people and witness to people, even if we weren't talking to them directly. So anything that is public that has to do with your faith, volunteering with your church, anything like that, do it. My next do is post on social media about your faith. And I don't mean just like put a Bible verse in your Instagram bio and hope that people see it and think that you're a Christian. My reasoning for this is people in high school are obsessed with social media. They're gonna be on social media a lot. So if you start posting like Bible verses and Christian songs that they might like and click into, that's a good way to witness to people too. Social media is a very, very, very good tool to witness to people. Sometimes what I like to do is do the little question thing or whatever, and I'll be like, is there anything that I can pray for you about? And people will message me, and like seriously, and I will tell them like, I won't tell anyone, I promise, but I will seriously be praying for you. And that's another way, because a lot of times when people are like, yeah, I need prayers, they might feel awkward asking. So if you ask, it might help someone come to Christ. You never know. My next do is do talk or sit with people who look like they're having a bad day. And I'm not telling you that you have to go, as a Christian, that you have to go sit with that one person that's all by himself, like all that stuff. Because yes, that's important, but also, if any of your friends are having a bad day or anyone that you know is having a bad day, go talk to them, go sit by them, go be that person. Because that's what Jesus would do. That's what you need to do in high school, is do what you think Jesus would do. Be that person that's always there for your friends. And when they ask you why, just say, it's what Jesus would do. And my 7th do is do pray every single day. There was a year in high school that I prayed literally every single night before I went to bed, and it really changed me, like honestly, because there were times that people would say something to me during the day and I would remember it at night. There were also some days where when I wasn't praying every single day, that someone would ask me to pray for them and I would completely forget. So praying consecutively every single day is a really good way to help pray for your friends, pray for your family. My last do, and I think this is the most important one, is recognize when you sin. Obviously, I know you're not probably gonna do every single thing that's on this list. It's really hard. High school is a weird phase. High school's difficult to be a Christian. It really is. And the only thing that God really wants from you is he wants you to feel that conviction to when you're cussing or when you're drinking alcohol at that party, if, hopefully you don't, but if you do, that you feel that conviction, that you feel that it's wrong. That's what Jesus wants for us. He wants us to recognize our sin because he knows we're going to. We're human, we're all gonna sin. I sin every single day. And he wants us to be aware of what we're doing. And when we're aware of it, we can help stop it. And hopefully it won't become a pattern of sin. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys get something from this. If you have any questions about anything that I said, just leave it in the comments below, or you can DM me on Instagram, anything like that. I know it's gonna be really hard being a Christian in today's society. I'm aware. It was hard for me, and it's just gonna keep getting harder. But you can't lose faith. You can't give up, because Jesus wouldn't want you to. He would want you to keep going and to love him as much as humanly possible. It's gonna be hard, but you can do it. So thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and go follow me on all my social media, and peace out.